Hey guys, welcome back to Factorio. In the meantime, I've looked for inserter mods, and I haven't really found any that do what I want, but I did add the side inserters mod since it's a very sort of lightweight thing, and it just allows you to have side inserters. I don't even know if I'm going to use them or not. I tried out some other inserter mods, but none of them seem to allow you to specify which lane it takes from, so I guess I just have to manually balance things, but that's okay. I'm actually recording this like the same day that I made the first part, so I have no idea if people are even interested in this, but I'm interested in playing, so I'm going to play. Okay, our power is alright, we're crafting a ton of inserters. And luckily we do have a good amount of throughput already of these items. We're going to need turrets soon, so I'm going to start making these by hand. I'll just make one. Then I'll run up there and place them eventually. So like we said, we really need greenhouses. Which means I need glass. So I need to automate the production of glass, which means I'm going to need at least one crusher. And then I'll be able to make glass. Just using furnaces. Okay. So really it's just waiting for these resources to be constructed. Really just the waiting. But that's pretty typical. Yeah, I guess I can do some wall research first. Now where is our stone? It's next to the copper, so let's go start mining some. Let's get all of this done. It's just down here. Let's get rid of this. We can't actually make better miners yet, so I'm just going to use one of these, and I'm just going to store this just so we have something. Most of this production is going to be by hand, though. We can make these inserters after we've done the rest of this. We can make that after we've made everything else. Okay. We do already have a good amount of stone, especially from, like, you know, doing this. It's always really satisfying watching bots demolish a forest. Although it's not really as satisfying as watching like a nuke take down a forest. Okay, so we have a lot of stone. Okay, our crusher's almost done. We're going to need water, but we should also... we can actually just hook in to the water that we have already. We don't actually need another pump. I'm going to move this sentinel over here. Move this. Let's get a new pipe, and now I can just steal this water. Oh, wow. I love how long the underground belts are. So that's going to be the rest of our underground belts. So what I need... Belts? Pipes. So there, I'll make some more after everything. So much handcrafting. It's awful. But... I mean, I could set up assemblers for these. If I had already crafted more assemblers. Okay, we have the crusher now. But I'd have to bring all that stone up manually, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to... I think just use a chest and some inserters to, like, fill a belt. So let's just place the crusher here. We should be able to just directly load in and out from anywhere, I think. And I imagine you also could use inserters, though. it would just be very slow. Yeah, this is awful. So if we actually move this... Oh, it's kind of just like not gonna go well no matter how we do it. So maybe... Okay, so I could put a single like chest here. And then what I can do is this. Okay, so what I actually want is this. Okay, and they can all do this. And I'll just use these for now. And then if I fill it with stone, now we have 3 going in instead. But we're also going to need more loaders then. Okay. So do the loaders work on everything? Because what I think it's programmed like an inserter, so I've heard, so it's not like inefficient. But could I just use a loader directly into a furnace then from this? Like, would that work? If I had a loader? Okay, what else have I been making? I've been making a lot of things. I actually need 10 of those, so I need 2 of these. We're making more inserters. We have light armor, but that's worse than what we have. Because, you know, accelerated start and all that. Yep, any minute now. Oh god, so these are going to take some time to make. So, for now, I'm just going to do this, fill this up. We're going to need more coal. But you see how slow one inserter is. So if I can use a loader here, I will. And we don't need that much glass, but we're going to need at least one of these. But I actually don't know how these work, so let's see. Doesn't seem like that's how that works. So I imagine it's just like these buildings. Which means we are just going to need this. So it takes 16. So I think I might need 2 inserters on this to keep up. Yeah. Because otherwise it's just going to do that. But luckily we can just fill this up with stone, and then all the glass that we need we'll get. Although we're also going to need some stone bricks soon, but I don't think we've researched... Oh, yes, we have it. I don't think we need to... Okay. Gun turrets will be useful. We can actually defend against the aliens. Okay, our loaders are done. We have a ton of belts, but let's go get ready to have more. This should basically always be producing stuff. This is going to be very interesting, because as part of the main bus, we're going to need wood. I think... I actually have no idea what else we're going to need on a main bus. So I don't even know if I can really make one. And I don't know the ratios yet. Although I do have this, right? So in order to make 2 science a second... Oh, but wait. 2 a second. No, yeah, that's exactly what it would be. I'm going to leave everything alone now. 2 a second's really not that fast. But it is a significant speed up, so I think I should just aim at this, something small. I don't need it to be crazy quick. I'd like to get assemblers automated, at least sort of deeply, but that's going to be a challenge. Okay, let's just get rid of these. And now I have to figure out how many furnaces it actually takes to saturate a full belt of yellow. Normally it's 48, 24 per both side. But with these new ratios, I'm not so sure. I wonder if I can use this. If I make a new sheet, and I want to compute iron plates, and what I want is it 15 a second, or is it going to be... Item speed is 15 a second, which I believe is both sides. It's not like per side. So I'm going to... It's still 48. It's the same ratio. Okay, that's good to know then. So I can just delete that sheet. This is a super useful mod. I'm definitely going to be using this a lot. 2, 4, 6. I mean, I can actually just do this. But I have to do it from here so I don't copy everything else. I actually don't want a blueprint. I just want to control C this, which I really never remember is a thing. Then I can just like... And then if I want to see exactly how many are in here, it's 44. So with 4 more of these... That's what one full smelter should look like. At least for our basic level smelter. And we also don't have a full belt of iron yet. But this just gives us sort of like a width. Now we know like how wide we have. And then out here, I don't think we do actually want to make our bus go this way because there is water. It's really hard to see anywhere. Maybe we want to go up. Up actually looks like kind of a good idea. There's a handful of cliffs, but otherwise we're kind of fine. So I guess this can take a sharp turn. But look at the iron now. We're using all of our iron miners to do this. Also, how's our power? It's actually not bad. But once we start researching and doing this, it's going to become an issue. I don't need this last row. 32, output full. It seems that furnaces can't hold as many items as usual. Okay, now that we have 20, we can actually make a greenhouse, because we're going to need 1.5 of those, meaning 2 of those to fully saturate our, like, 2 science a second goal. This is still going, we can just leave that. In fact, I don't need all of these on me. Copper we're automating, and then wood will be automating very shortly. And the wood thing's also useful because it's going to enable us to do other things as well, not just have, like, you know, wood. We did research it already, though. So now we have those recipes. I guess you just can't see them except in the greenhouse. Okay, we've already used up 1 iron miner. Okay, so all of our miners are going to come out to this width. I can bring the iron ones down and we can have like 4 of those or something. Copper go up. Which means I probably want my bus to start above the power line here. Above this water line, probably. And I can do like oil over here or something. Once we get there. It's really hard to plan. You need enough space for everything. But I also don't... I could just make a base that could be upgraded into like a final base. Or I could really just make it not good and make it a starter base. But I'd really prefer to sort of not have to redo everything. Look at all the rocks we have to get rid of. Oh, okay. So, I'm going to bring these up. I'm going to assume, let me just give like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to have like 3 more iron miners come up in the middle here, I think. And we're going to have like 4 copper lines, so let's just say 1, 2 as a gap, like 4 copper lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to need like at least 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this should be the iron, and then everything else is going to have to come up on the right side. If there's any other mining things, which I think there will be. But let's just extend this up crazy distance. So let's do like 1, 2. Just, we can always move the power, but this is just like a rough guide. I probably should just go straight above the water, though. All this junk in our way. So to be straight above the water. Basically where I am now. Okay. So this will be like the start of our main bus. Do I have the blueprint book? So this is older stuff. This is no longer applicable. This book, though. This is an insanely useful book I've gotten off the internet. It's just filled with belt balancers. I hope I haven't, like, degraded it by getting rid of recipes. Although I know this one off the top of my head. We could do this, and then it's something like this. And the purpose of this is, if you have 4 input belts, it will, I literally said the word, it will balance them so that all 4 inputs will balance equally to, you know, 4 outputs. With, obviously with just 1 belt of input, we're not going to have a full 4 belts of throughput, but it will still balance it. So you should be able to see that in a moment. We're not going to have, like, I'll do this so that it's a bit more visible. And you can see 1/4 of that belt gets distributed equally in each of these. And that way we can sort of, like, pull off of that. And what did I say? I said 8 between. This will be our copper one. I can't believe I haven't been copy pasting like my whole gameplay of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay. And this one is going to be this line. And you see why we need so many belts. I went way further than I needed to because this isn't ready yet. But there's one other thing. You can already see the problem here, even though nothing's taking from it. The lanes are going to be unbalanced. So what we can do is we can come in here and add a simple lane balancer. But instead of balancing between multiple lanes, we're going to be balancing between the 2 lanes of every belt. And the design for this, let me just draw it up here so that then I can just copy. And there's 2 of them because you can either go right or left. It doesn't really matter. I'll do this. Have to flip that, and then you do this, and then you do, I think, this way. And so items that are on this, from one side actually, will end up on both sides. Okay. Have to flip. Okay, how about... Is there a mirror? That's a good question. Is there a way to mirror? Because I've seen people mirror blueprints before. And this is why bots are so useful. I can just sketch that up and then move it, copy paste things. So what that means is I can come up here and get rid of these and then just copy paste this back. Nice. So when I fill this out now, these smelters will be going up to the main bus. Kind of like a computer circuit. We're also going to need power up there, but we can just take the power directly across. It's probably the shortest distance. Wow, this sand is hard to walk in. And we can fill this area with steam power. So it's actually good that we're so far away. And part of some of the stuff we're going to want in between are power lines. So for now, this will just be that. Actually, no, I think I'll hug. I'll do something like this. And if we have to move them, we will, and eventually we'll upgrade them. But there we go. Now we have iron. I'll have to pave all this with stone brick and then cement. That's probably a really good idea. So let's go start automating that. You see how much stone we have collected, and how hard it is to walk. That will give time for the belt to fill up. We also need a second greenhouse. We have tons of glass, but we can just accumulate that. What I could do is just do it here. Just like this. And just slowly fill this up as well. Can I? No, I can't specify what is there, but that's fine. So now both of these will fill up, and if we just fill this chest up by hand with stone, then eventually we'll get plenty of glass and plenty of stone brick. Stone brick will be a lot slower, though. We'll eventually make like a furnace stack for it, but not yet. We're going to need a lot of pipes, so I'm going to automate the production of pipes. And I really want to automate the production of assembling buildings as well. So that should probably be the first thing that we do off of the main bus. Is just automate like these buildings and these things. Okay, let's take all of this and let's fill this up. So what else do I need before I go up there? It's really just assembling machines, which we really just have to make by hand. 15 stone bricks. Okay. I would say just something like this. Oh, that's awful, but see how much faster it is? So once we get a big path up here, start paving everything, that's going to be a huge improvement. It's also really dark. We're going to need lamps soon. We're definitely going to need turrets soon. At least we can follow the belt to be faster. So this side should probably just start off with all these like nice things. But I also need to plan ahead for other things that we have to add to the belt. But I have no idea what we actually have to add to the belt. I don't know what's going to be coming because this mod is new. We're going to be needing steel eventually, but I don't know how much we're going to need. We're going to need coke for things. I have no idea what. There's steel beams and steel plates. Okay, I have no idea. How do you make steel? With coke. So we're going... Oh, that's so interesting. It's gonna be such a pain, so I need a sort of like modular design to this main bus. I can't just like ahead of time know exactly everything I'm going to need and in what ratios. So what I should do... How can I sort of... This is kind of an issue. I could just like leave an enormous gap. I could give like a 20 or 30 gap. You know? And then that would be plenty of space. But then it might look really stupid. I could like go around it, but that could also look really stupid. I could maybe go underground, and that could work, because the underground belts are going to be much larger. Okay, so let's do like 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's start building like up here. So we want inserters, long inserters, we want all of these things. We also want assembling machines. And that's probably all we really need to automate, at least initially, just for like the hand-fed stuff and the pipes. So let me add a new sheet. What we want here are all the things mentioned. Oh, can I not? I don't think I can actually, like, add things up here. Okay, that's kind of unfortunate. Maybe if I just make, like, if I aim for, I don't know, like one assembler per final ingredient or something like that, but that's gonna be weird. Let's start with pipes because they're gonna be very easy. You make 2 every second. And these you make 2 every 5.5 seconds. But they consume 10 pipes. 10 pipes means it needs like a dedicated pipe thing for it. So if this is an iron input, how much width? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, something like that. So I don't know, something like this as a start. Where these all take iron and this just directly goes in here. Oh, there we go. And these can just go into single wooden chests. Oh, well, not that one. And they can just fill up completely, I guess. And for now, we can just do this, but in the future, we're going to have to actually, like, belt balance things. But now, every time we want resources, we can just run up here and grab them. I also need a sentinel up here. I think 3 is overkill, but 2 is necessary. And we're not going to make these things fast. That's not really the point, because we just need these to happen passively, so that over time when we come back, they'll just be here. Which is why I don't really care that it's not very quick. This needs more pipes, but... Why is that so fast? Oh, I read the wrong time. It also is half a second of crafting time, so you'd really need like 10 of these to maximize, but I'd rather not do that. Clearly this is overproducing what this can handle, but... Yeah, I guess then what we can do is like something like this. Yeah, something like this. And then we can sort of... I'll do it like this. And I have to output it on the near side for this to work. Yep, and then it's really jank, but it's just so that we have the resources. And so this now, approximately half of them will be going into the chest, and half of them will be used for this, which will speed these up. Okay, next. Do I want to give space? No. Maybe I do want to give space. I have to think about this. How many gears can we make? Oh, they take a long time. Although it is 2 per second. 2 per second. This also consumes 2 per second, so it's like a one-to-one thing. Okay, so here's how we make rocks, which is really interesting. I guess you could, though, like, use it as, like, defense. Just get rid of all that, okay. We just need this, so gears and belts. And we saw that, actually, this will be pretty fast. We need more inserters, which is ironic, so we'll definitely have to automate those too, but we need the other types of belts, including loaders. These need iron beams, which I'm just going to do something very similar to this. Because I could, like, just use this as the input, but I'd rather not do that. So what I can do is I can copy this. And I can just sort of continue it. This will be the underground belts. And these power poles do really suck. That's okay. And these will be the beams. Okay, so slowly, underground belts are going to be made. Nice, and that's definitely going to be better. Let's see how these are doing. Even though they're not that fast, they are definitely steadily building. It's much better than doing it by hand. Okay, now these we're also going to need transport belts for. So again, I need to paste this one. But we also need gears and automation cores. Automation cores might be a pain. Yeah, oh my god. This is going to be interesting. Well, this is the first thing we need copper for. So maybe we should... We could sort of make like a second line up top. And then we can place something like this, with this being the end result. But the end result's probably going to be more like over here. These power poles are like hurting my soul. That's a bit better at least. Okay. This can be here. Okay, so if you press F, well, it actually is flipping it the way I want. This is horrible, and do not copy this design, but it's just going to make it work, is the whole idea. And even that might be pushing things. And then another thing, we're going to need copper. Oh my goodness. This is atrocious, honestly. But it should essentially do what we need it to. Now for this, we're going to need 2 separate ingredients for. I think it should have its own dedicated gears. Oh no. These are also going to just need like gears and beams and automation cores. So once we have the automation cores being made, hopefully we could just sort of use it for all of these. Oh, this is so annoying. But I'm kind of glad, because this is sort of what you sign up for with a mod like this. Okay, dedicated gears. This will be like the automation core line. And what these need are iron sticks and more gears. So I'll make gears, plus the automation cores, plus the iron sticks. Oh my god. Okay, this is going to clearly need another inserter. This is clearly going to need another inserter, but these are generally pretty quick. Now we can finally make these. And obviously this is the worst way to do this, right? Because this actually is overproducing gears, for example. And these are underproducing, and really we should have some sort of like one belt thing. Look how much iron we're consuming. Actually, I can't. But it seems like we're consuming this whole belt's worth. That doesn't help. Where is the next iron patch? Over there? Yeah, that's not too bad. We are starting to expand that way, which is kind of risky, because they could just... Aliens could start becoming a problem. They don't specify which ammo, but I imagine it will be rifle magazines. I wonder if you could give them any type. Ah, there we go. Some real splitters. And luckily, we do have too many automation cores right now, because there's like a limited number of gears. So that's actually good for us. Inserters is like the next big thing. We also need inserter parts, which is also iron sticks and iron gears. We have way more sticks than we need. I'm going to do this the most lazy way I can. And we're going to need this. Oh boy. I want this to do the near side. Let's stop making those. I'll make those after. I can do things like this. That's actually pretty nice, that sort of compactness. Okay, this one needs to be making more gears, which is overkill, and this one's making the inserter parts. This one can finally make inserters, and that's a big problem that we just solved right there. Fortunately, we are consuming all of our iron. Our power is not doing great. We haven't researched proper electric mining drills, but I can do that. We just need 4 of these. Finally, we actually have inserters. The last real thing I said, we could do loaders. I'm not going to worry about it because we're not going to need them yet for a while. But assemblers we definitely do need. So gears and iron beams. So already some of these are overproducing, but that's only like sort of temporary. We need the automation cores, gears, iron. I'm actually just going to be very sort of cheap about this. You're not going to actually believe how cheap I'm going to be. It's going to be very impressive, I think. Okay, and then what we need... Yeah. This is kind of a pain, so instead of doing a new light pole, I'm just going to cheat. And it's also on the wrong side. But I do need a power pole here. So I can just use these for now. Fortunately, we're basically out of iron. And ironically, we don't have an assembling machine to make assembling machines. It's kind of not good. Part of the issue is we don't have like caps, so this is just going to keep generating pipes until it's filled. So I think I will limit these to like 4 belts. There's no reason to limit because we're going to use a lot of them. Undergrounds and stuff I will, especially because they're so expensive, I'll limit. Inserters, we really don't need a limit on because we're going to use like all of them. And finally, I can make this assembling machines, which will slowly but surely fill up. Of course, we have all this extra iron sitting here, but we can't actually like properly use it. Because it is just sitting there. But we can let that work. Let's go worry about turrets. We will also have to automate rifle mags pretty soon. Yeah, you can see that this smelt is just starved for iron. Even the copper one, there's just not much. Okay, 2 of these being out definitely doesn't help, so that's actually a good thing. I'll just merge them, but I'll take input priority from the left. That way it will drain that stuff first. None of these look like they're going away very soon. Let's check on our stone mining. Basically none. But something. Not like we're running low on stone anyway. This we actually don't need anymore at all. We can just tear this down. Maybe they'll give us some good gears. Yeah. Tons of belts. Okay. Up here, we still need this for a while. We're not actually using any of it, but now we have this. On the near side. And there we go, and we can get electric mining drills real quickly. And that will help us a ton. Look at that. Now we already have too much glass, so I'm not going to share this output anymore. This is just going to fill up with glass. I don't even know if we need this much. But if we do, we have it. This is kind of a weird spot to sort of place this, but whatever. And just start with one right up the middle. And this isn't really that much, so I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to take it more to places that we actually go. Like straight down here. Just something, right? Just so we have a bit faster of a walk. Once the research finishes, we'll actually have electric mining drills. But we're really going to need to reorder the majority of stuff we've literally just made. But it's really just temporary. Oh, this is so sad. Just the sheer amount it's stealing. Once we get a full belt of input, though, this will be really good. That's a much better walk. Okay, so our pipes are all done, meaning the iron's actually getting down here and again. I'll fill this up with most belts, just to give it a head start. This needs really is gears. And like, we have plenty of gears. But I'm not going to really move it. 2 assembling machines, let's go. Because if the iron has to reach all the way to the end. And that's just like not happening right now. 13 inserters. Nice. Ah, there we go. We can fix this problem now. Let me grab a little more iron. I'll just take all this iron sitting here and just make drills. So that's literally the only thing we can do to solve this problem. What's limiting? Oh, copper. Okay. Now, next thing is we're going to be limited by power, but that's also really solvable. So let's actually just prepare for that. 1, 2, 1, and then we can do 5, 10, which would take all 20 of these, but we actually need a little bit more than that. There we are. And that actually used all of our pipes, ironically. And that's going to take a long while to craft, but once it does, we'll be much better off. I like that I'm running through here instead of on the path I made. Nice. Always nice making good decisions. And the shape is really weird, so this is going to be a really weird mining setup, but that's okay. I hate I hate everything about the way that this mining is coming up. But we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We only need like a little bit more to have a full belt of throughput. So with that, it should be a full belt. And again, input priority from the other side. And you can already start to see so much better. I need to go put Sentinel at the end of this so I can actually see it always. Just like I think right there. And come on, let's make some of these. Nice. And how's the power? Yeah, right on the limit. But look at that. That is a full belt of throughput now. Well, the left side is kind of lacking. But I think no, there's a small gap. Because there's one more. There's actually 2 more on the right than there are on the left. I'm gonna place this more like over here so I can move this. This is horrible. I don't know. Just something. This one's almost dead too, so I'm just gonna place this ahead of time. Probably have to do something similar with copper soon enough, but not yet. I could also, like, lane balance this so this doesn't happen, but I think we're basically there. Yeah, now we have a full belt of throughput. And that gives us half a belt with these smelters because I'm guessing it's right because actually it isn't 1-to-1 anymore. It is like what, 50-50? No, it's 1-to-2, right? Or 2-to-1. It's 2-to-1. Two ores make one plate, which means we're only actually going to utilize half of our smelter, and we're only going to have half a belt of throughput for now. What we can do is we could have 2 full belts coming in, and then we'd have to get rid of this whole input. Which means in order to actually fuel this, I don't know what the best idea is. So I don't think this really is like the smelter design then for this. I mean, the other thing we could obviously do is cut this in half and just duplicate it. Or you could like have another lane filling up midway. But for now we have half a belt of output. So let's see what happens up at the top now. It's a bit better. It's actually getting there now. 1 inserter, some of these things. Okay, we actually have 50 of these now. This is almost filled up. And this is almost filled up. And our belts are actually sort of filling up. Okay, so while this is atrocious, we'll be able to fix it, probably. Let's go expand our power, though. Because, yeah, that doesn't help. Oh, I don't like that. Let's just... Oh, God. Oh, no, I can't get rid of it. I have to use blots. There we go. Oh, that's awful. But this is going to solve our problem needs for a while. I don't have pipes anymore, though. Run back up. Yeah, just 100. And we should have the inserters as well. Just see the water get pumped in. Okay. Whoops. And we're still crafting these, but this will start to help. Yeah, just barely. You can see on the right. We're just barely meeting the requirement. So I'll just place these and let the bots do the rest. Yeah, and there we are. As long as the bots don't place like these first, then we'll be fine. Let's see as they get placed. Of course it places the one that doesn't do anything first. Yeah, of course, that one makes sense. Jump to there. Okay, that helps. That's getting better. Yeah, look at the power. I love seeing the power output drop as it's not needed. Oh, that's good. Also, the noise being a lot quieter, I like. Then we can always duplicate this on the other side as well. Right, we did make turrets. Oh, and that pollution's not so good. Yeah, this is starting to get bad. And these definitely don't help the pollution. Okay, just 2 more. And then let's see. Look at that. Look how much better that is. We're almost there. There we go, 21.3 megawatts. So that's our power system for now. I didn't place one up there. Okay, so if that's just a worm, it's not a big deal, but it might actually just be a worm. But it's still expanded, so I don't like that. That's not good. So just in case, I'm going to place this guy here. Does take rifle mags. Okay. And automating rifle magazines, we can probably do that too. We have a long inserter. We need to place coal in. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Why does it have to be so slow? Well, there's one way around that. Long inserters are faster. Okay, so now we actually have ammo being generated. But I'm... Oh, 12. That's not bad. Ooh, over a stack. Okay, so this is actually working pretty well. It's not great, and we definitely need to improve it because there's a lot of redundancies and things we don't need. But we definitely are coming along. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know, again, let me know if you do enjoy this so that I'll keep making them. Otherwise, I'll be playing this on my own. But, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next episode.